welcome. I'd like to call the October 2019 meeting of the Will County Board of Education to order and now recognize Mr. Harvey for invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administrators in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principle to always base our decisions on the best interest of our young people. Amen.
Thank you. Everyone will please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll recognize Superintendent Williams for our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, members of the Board of Education, it's my honor and privilege to present to you for your consideration and hopefully your approval tonight's agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis for approval of the agenda. Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, board chair comments, just a couple things. I would like to recognize Mr. Adam Mitchell for being here tonight as our board attorney. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And also, I would like to thank Merwin Smith, board member, for reminding us about pink tonight. So, thank you very much. And that's it. I want to move on to our superintendent's announcements and recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a busy time in the school system. Progress reports have just gone out. You know, that's an important time, and it's one of those little watershed marker moments that lets us know the year is not only afoot, but it's zooming by. And it is October. It sometimes doesn't feel like it outside. It's starting to, I suppose, at some point. But our year is passing quickly. We've had a very smooth start to the 2019-2020 school year. Our teachers are working very hard, our kids, our principals, every team member is, and the progress is showing. Just today, I was notified, I have several accomplishments and honors that we want to recognize tonight, but just today, I was notified by Touchstone Energy Cooperative Tri-County Electric in Goldsboro. Our schools are all eligible to participate in that, some at the state level, some at the local level. 6 of our schools are eligible to participate at the local level, and even with having only 6 of our schools eligible, and the other 2 counties are Duplin and Wayne, and all of their schools are eligible, 33 in Wayne, for instance. But just having 6 of our schools participate, they gave away 100 mini grants, and we earned, our teachers wrote and submitted more grants this year. In fact, we doubled the number we submitted last year, and the progress is showing we earned 45 out of their 100 mini grants. So we're so excited about our teachers and what they're doing in the classrooms, and that's money that they created through their value-added contributions by the adult teachers in the classrooms. And we're very excited and proud of them. And they'll have a banquet at the end of the month, and they'll invite our teachers to go and to be awarded these mini grants, and we're excited about that. Now remember, last year we were number 8 in the state among the 116 school systems for the Bright Ideas mini grants at the state level. So we hope that we'll be able to surpass that as well. In fact, we're on record, we submitted more, almost triple the number of state level grant applications this year that we did last year. So always trying to step up. Our theme for this year, academically and otherwise, is level up in whatever we're doing, and we certainly are endeavoring to do that, and it is showing. Today is, the governor has proclaimed, has asked that all flags be lowered in honor of National Fallen Firefighters Day. So in observance of that and honoring our fallen firefighters and everything that they do for us. October is National Principal Appreciation Month by NASSP, and the North Carolina Council on Secondary Principals as well. And those 2 organizations combined to honor our principals. We have several things planned for our principals. Board members will be sending you an invitation next Tuesday before our principals and directors meeting. It's supposed to be tomorrow, but we have needed to reschedule it for It's always the day after the board meeting, but we moved it to next Tuesday, and we'll be honoring our principals with a breakfast, and we'll invite board members to attend that event as well. Ms. Taylor will be sending out those invitations to you. But we salute our hardworking principals and assistant principals for everything that they do every day in our schools, for our kids and our staff members, and you, the members of our community. So thank you to our principals. And as Mr. Chairman referenced earlier, it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Almost everybody in this room probably, I would say, has been touched by cancer in their families, friends, loved ones, and it's certainly the month that we pause and try to raise awareness about the importance of research and the march to find a cure for breast cancer, and the importance also of education about and awareness raising about early detection and how that can contribute to moving forward. Tonight is my honor to honor some of our students and staff members. We'll begin with a young lady that I was very pleased to see today at one of our schools, South Lenore High School. I attended their National Honor Society tap-in program, induction program, and she certainly was one of the student leaders there leading that program and did a fine job. But tonight she's to be honored here with us. Miss Avery Harper, South Lenore High School senior, has been selected to return to Indianapolis, Indiana to participate in the National FFA Talent Competition. After auditioning through recorded media, Avery was selected to appear in the talent competition at the 92nd National FFA Convention, October 28th through November 2nd. We are very excited for Avery and her opportunity to represent Lenore County Public Schools at South Lenore High School. The state champion FFA meet evaluation team from North Lenore will also compete at this national convention. So, as Avery is coming forward, let's give her a round of applause. We'll ask our parents to stand. We'll also ask her agriculture teacher, Mr. Joe Noble, is here. If he'd come forward, and her principal, Mr. St. Man. It takes a collective effort. So proud of her. And as I mentioned, as Avery was coming forth, as I mentioned, the meets grading team, the state championship team from North Lenore also will be represented. Ms. Berg, one of the Ag Ed teachers from North Lenore High School, is here and will be recognized tonight. So we certainly want to wish them well, and we have representatives from 2 of our high schools going to represent us in national competition. That's significant, folks. So we're very proud of all of our kids and our staff members who are leading them. We would like to honor 2 distinguished beginning teachers that have earned special recognition due to their Ed TPA scores and GPA. Ms. Lorraine Kelly from Woodington Middle School, and Mr. Paul Siegler from Rochelle Middle School. Beginning teachers who have a GPA of at least 3.75 and a specified Ed TPA score depending upon their area of licensure have had the opportunity to submit their information and be evaluated for a salary step increase of 1, 2, or 3 steps. Ms. Kelly qualifies for an increase from A0 to A1 with her scores and ELA licensure. She's a product of Lenore County Public Schools, graduated from Lenore County Early College High School. Mr. Siegler qualifies for an increase from A0 to A3 with his scores and is teaching at a low-performing school. These are only 2 of the outstanding beginning teachers that we have in our district, and this is another layer of recognition and honor that the state has created for beginning teachers. We're very pleased with that, and we wanted to pause and to recognize them here tonight. Please, I'll ask these teachers to come forward. Please join me in congratulating them. At the recent regional athletic directors meeting in Duplin County, South Lenore High School's athletic director, Coach Lisa Smith, was awarded the Charlie Adams Distinguished Service Award by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. This is the association's most prestigious award, and it is, in the minds of most people who know anything about North Carolina high school athletics, for a coach, it is their highest honor. Mr. Charlie Adams always placed the integrity of high school athletics above personal accolades, citing organization and preparation as fundamental touchstones for success. He insisted that loving what you do was always of paramount importance. Throughout his distinguished service to the people of North Carolina, he was a source of knowledge, wisdom, and encouragement, a best friend to all. With all of his accomplishments, Charlie remained a person of humility. This award is given to in each of the regions in North Carolina in his honor. The person must have had more than 10 years of experience in education and athletics, and they must still be in that field. These individuals are noted to have gone above and beyond the call of duty at both the local and state level. During Coach Smith's tenure, some of her accomplishments include: she's been an athletic director for 11 years, head volleyball coach 26 years with 377 wins and 169 losses. Conference volleyball champions 14 times. Conference volleyball coach of the year 6 times. Head softball coach 21 years with 348 wins and 126 losses. Conference softball champions 11 years. Conference softball coach of the year 5 times. 2008 regional Region 2 coach of the year. Regional softball champions 1. Runner-up 2 times. 3 Final Four appearances and 1 state runner-up. Coach Smith commented, "I am truly humbled and honored to receive the Charlie Adams Distinguished Service Award. Over the last 26 years, I have and continue to have the privilege to work with some of the best administrators, coaches, students, athletes, and community members around. I am so grateful to have found a family at South Lenore High School and a community that helps and cares so much for each other." At this time, join me in bringing forward Ms. Lisa Smith, Coach Lisa Smith. If any of you have done any coaching at all, or any volunteering with kids, or even if just being in and around the classroom and schools, when we're talking about hundreds of wins and hundreds of games and thousands of practice sessions, wow, Coach Smith, we appreciate you. 6 LCPS teachers attended the North Carolina Science Olympiad Coaches Clinic on October 4th through the 5th. Coaches from Lenore County attended on full scholarship, and they were recommended for this award and selected for their outstanding service as previous coaches. This year's scholarship winners from Lenore County were Selena Gray of Pink Hill Elementary School, Katina Cherry of Southeast Elementary School, Alicia Davis of LaGrange Elementary School, and Dr. Rita Joyner of Lenore County Early College High School, Adam Pike of Woodington Middle School, and Samantha Rouse of Northwest Elementary School. Now, you will recall that Science Olympiad is one of our initiatives moving forward, trying to really infuse, to complement our efforts to move forward with science instruction. Our science scores are skyrocketing in Lenore County, and I don't think it's any accident that at the same time we're really pushing Science Olympiad and pushing that the way we do athletics with a coach and assistant coaches and a team and practice sessions and going to competitions. In our first year of participation 4 years ago, we sent teams to the regional level. They had a respectable showing. For the last 3 years, we've placed at the regional level and gone on to the state level. This past year, we sent multiple teams to the state level. Very pleased by what the kids are doing with Science Olympiad, and it begins with the leadership shown by these coaches. So we want to bring them forward and recognize them tonight. They come forward, please. And now an honor that Lenoir County has really, we've had some over the years, but not a lot of, and I'm very pleased. And I couldn't be more pleased in the two individuals being selected, not only because of their leadership on the field of athletics competition and on the court, but also with our young people, but also their role as fine human beings mentoring the young people that we serve. So, and that's true of all of our coaches, but never more true than with these two. I'll ask them to come forward, and I'd like for their principals to come up as well as our board chair and vice chair. Congratulations to two of our coaches for being chosen to lead state all-star teams. South Lenoir girls head coach Donald Mooring, head basketball coach Donald Mooring was recently named head coach of the East team for the 36th annual East-West All-Star Girls Basketball game. Kinston High School head football coach Ryan Gieselman will be an assistant coach for the East squad in the 72nd annual East-West All-Star Ball game. The 2020 All-Star games will be played in July. I would like for these two coaches to come forward, please, to be recognized. Congratulations to two of our coaches, congratulations to our child nutrition department and our career and technical education program. The two departments combined to really set forth an outstanding application. They were selected for an honor. We traveled to Raleigh to the convention center a couple of weeks ago, and the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction honored our district with the Farm to School NC Award, and it was from the 2019 Farm to School Summit, a professional development series held there, a symposium on September 20th. To earn the award, Child Nutrition and the Career and Technical Education Department developed an extensive record of all the work being done in Lenoir County to promote healthy and fresh foods awareness for all students. LCPS was one of only 13 districts in the state of North Carolina honored by Farm to School. Ms. Erin Berg is present tonight to accept the award. Ms. Berg would come forward. And we'd also like the rest of the recipients to come up, please. Miss Amy Jones was also held in call. Ms. Berg, congratulations. And they did comment in the award program about the collaboration between CTE and child nutrition that they're not seeing in most districts, and it's certainly a work in progress here as everywhere, but we're much further along in some districts, so I'm giving you that feedback to these departments. Addressing issues like food deserts and really how to get nutritious food to all children and to level the playing field of nutrition, and that's one that we don't normally focus on as much as we should, but we are. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Oh, any public comments? All right, and we'll move on to the presentation portion of our agenda. And I will recognize Mrs. Lynch for our digital learning showcase.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Lenore County Public Schools has been the recipient of 2 prestigious NCDPI coding grants. Currently, these grants serve students in grades 6 through 12 through dedicated coding coursework and newly formed robotics competition leagues. Tonight, I will share with you our plan and reasoning for implementing coding in our elementary classrooms, making us the first district in the Southeast region to strategically place a coding curriculum in grades K-12. Coding is a skill where you take instructions and translate it into a language that a computer understands. It's what makes it possible for us to create apps, other computer software, and websites. And code powers virtually everything around us. When you want to turn on your car, code lets your keys talk to the engine. When you want pizza, code places your online order. When you want to decide if you should eat that pizza, code tracks that order and tells you if you should or should not track that for the day. It also helps you with your favorite apps. Code lets you send messages and share photos. Here's why learning to code is so important for children. Coding drives innovation. From self-driving cars to robotic surgery to social media, computer science is revolutionizing every aspect of our lives. Coding is a fundamental skill that children need to learn so they can lead in the movement. Coding allows children to be creative. Coding builds confidence. It's incredibly empowering for children to be able to create projects and then show them off, or even better, to change the world. Coding is best learned early. Learning to code is similar to learning a second language. The earlier that children are exposed to fundamental topics like sequencing and loops, the more deeply they can absorb the concept. Coding also translates to success in other areas. Learning to program supports learning in all subjects like math, and reading, and science. In Lenore County, we have a 3-tiered approach to elementary coding. The first tier is exposure for all students. We're very proud of our students and our elementary teachers, especially in the month of December during Hour to Code Week. Our students have an opportunity to put their hands to work and expose themselves to coding throughout all content areas. But that's not enough. This year, we're planning to provide professional development to our media specialists and other specialists in the building to help all students have that grade level coding experience. Our second layer are teacher choice boards. Teachers will have quarterly choice boards with coding opportunities where students can build challenges and compete, and they'll have a chance to team with their digital learning specialists for teachers to really hone in on their coding skill set. And our third layer, the layer that we're focusing most on, is our elementary coding cohort. The goal for this exclusive group of people is aimed at paving the way for computer science in every elementary classroom. Our elementary coding cohort is a competitive process. In the spring of last year, teachers competed to be part of this experience. So we chose 2 teachers from every elementary school to partner with their digital learning specialists for this year-long exposure to coding. They will have deep professional learning with Apple. In fact, this week, we're introducing our very first professional learning series on Wednesday and Thursday to our teachers and to our digital learning specialists. Through this, they will also have time to collaborate and plan together and really dig deep into the coding skills to see where they fit within our current core content standards. We also expect these to be our model classrooms. Classrooms where teachers from our district can visit and teachers from outside of our district can visit as well. Our expected outcomes with the coding cohort is we plan to embed coding standards and lessons within our core content standards to really see where the code fits naturally. You just heard earlier where coding helps students learn in reading, math, and science and other content areas. And there's a natural fit within the standards. We also expect to increase student critical thinking and creation. And we expect to see an interest pathway develop for students who would like to further their coding experience. When they get into the middle school and move into the high school, and either after high school, they'll have this experience that will help them decide if this is something they want to take a little further. But most importantly, we want to make sure we have opportunity for all. So we're excited about our initiative. This will be the only, well, I don't know about the only, but this will be probably the only time you see me this year with Digital Learning Showcase, because I'm excited to bring teachers and students back starting in November to share their experience with the coding cohort and other creation initiatives along the way. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Next item on our agenda for presentation is our LCPS Science Olympiad Initiative Summary. Dr. McLeod.
Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you for this opportunity to share a short summary about our Science Olympiad initiative. It's been a part of our strategic plan for our STEM work, and it will piggyback nicely on some of what you just heard from Ms. Lynch. So we've been involved for a couple of years with Science Olympiad. Just to give you a little history, we started out with a Division A hosted by Southwood, and Division A is our elementary teams. And then we moved to Pink Hill, and we had an opportunity last year to expose our elementary students to the high school. That was such a successful endeavor, having elementary students on a campus other than an elementary school. We decided to further that and have our students go to Frank Middle School this year for our elementary tournament. The elementary tournament is designed for LCPS elementary schools only at this time. Division B and C tournaments are our middle and high school tournaments. The Kinston tournament is hosted by Lenore Community College. That date will be February 15th of 2020. These are just a few snapshots from our event last year. Division B and Division C have the opportunity to progress to the state if you are a first place winner. Mr. Williams mentioned earlier that we have had several students and teams progress to the state champions, and we're very excited for this Science Olympiad this year because not only will we have the state tournament, but North Carolina is hosting the nationals. And so we're really coaching our students up and we want to have a presence at nationals this year. Ms. Lynch mentioned coding. The nice thing about Science Olympiad is students begin in elementary school with events that could be tested events or what are called build events. So, for example, we have Code Busters and Pro Gamers in the elementary school, and in middle and high school, they have an event called Game On, and it's all about coding. So students, there is that opportunity for the curriculums to somewhat overlap between the fun competition of the Olympiad and what they're actually learning in the classroom that will support their academics. You met earlier 6 of our teachers that were at the coaches clinic this past weekend. We had additional teachers at the coaches clinic. Their schools sponsored them with their registration and travel accommodations, and we appreciate that. But just to see how we are growing our Science Olympiad presence at the state, we went from 2 awarded scholarship recipients last year to 6. We also had 2 tournament scholarships awarded last year. We're looking for more scholarship awards this year. Those will be announced in December. And so it takes truly a village to do this event, and I know several of you have come out and supported the elementary tournament, and I've seen faces at the Division B and C tournament. We are always happy to have your presence at any of our events, because it takes so many volunteers. There's so many people in this audience that run events. The coaches need lots of support, and they get that from their principals. And we also are very appreciative not only of the volunteers, but some of our business sponsors that help make Science Olympiad a success here in Lenore County. At this time, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have a question, but I'd just like to say, things like this really make me understand just how much time our teachers and administrators and central office and all of our staff spend other than just a normal school day. People just, they think of a school day from, say, 8 to 3, and just something like this is just so much more time involved, and weekends and nights. And I just hope the public realizes just how much time is involved in other things besides our normal 8 to 3 day.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Dr. McLeod.
Our next item is our NC STAR plans, and that'll be Mrs. Herring.
Good evening. I know you all are most excited about my
I
presentation.
was hoping maybe you were going to be absent tonight. No offense.
I did
No
not
offense,
come
but
down
this is
with the
a-
epizootics.
This is huge.
Are we going through every one of them?
No.
Yes,
No?
yes,
No?
yes.
What was that?
I said we're going through every one of them?
You will have loved me more at the end.
Call for
Yeah.
suffering
You'll be
break.
the most informed board member ever.
We read them.
I know. I love it as much as you do. Thank you, Charles.
That's the time. Okay.
I'd like to just point out that General Statute 115C-47 addresses the board's obligation to create school improvement plans. To establish school improvement teams lies squarely in the responsibility of the school board. Local boards shall adopt a policy to ensure that each principal has established a school improvement team under statute, and that the composition of the team complies with specific laws, 105.27A. Local boards shall direct the superintendent or the superintendent's designee to provide appropriate guidance to principals to ensure that these teams are established, and that the principals work together with these teams to develop, review, and amend school improvement plans for their schools. The plans must be approved by the local Board of Education. October, this is our short little timeline. Tonight is our presentation item. You'll have the month between now and the November meeting to read and review the plans. In November, we'll have the plans on for an action item. and the board will either accept or reject the plans as presented. Hopefully you will accept them. And the first week in December is when the plans are uploaded to the Department of Public Instruction. So that is our time frame. I'd like to explain what's been uploaded for your review. The comprehensive school report has been uploaded for each 17 schools. This is a longer document that actually encompasses the school improvement work that the school has participated since the creation of the NC STAR plans. Also, there's an executive summary for every school. This is a summary of the work the school is doing now. It will outline celebrations, challenges, and what the school is doing to address each challenge. I am providing this evening a quick review of each school's executive summary. As I go through the slides, you will begin to notice reference to many similar interventions, data points, expectations, research. This will not be a coincidence. What you will hear tonight are very specific manifestations of a full-scale district transformation effort. But truly, before we get started, I do want to thank Mr. Anderson, who attended all of our presentations except for maybe one or two or three. But those were the ones first thing in the morning. But he attended everyone and provided very valuable feedback, and we appreciate it very much, Mr. Anderson. I'd like to, as we go through the slides for each school this evening, you'll notice several trends that I've teased out by grade span. In the high schools, you're going to hear about a focus on ACT scores, master schedules, and suspension rates. The middle schools, you're going to hear about remediation time, grouping, master schedules, increased focus on building positive relationships with students, maps, data, suspension rates. And in the elementary schools, you're going to hear about LLI, which is level literacy interventions. You're going to hear about guided reading, the MAPS data, which is it's a universal screener. Suspension rates, you're going to hear about community involvement, and again, master schedules. So we'll just get started. While Banks Elementary School did not make growth this year, the data reveals that Banks made progress in all subject areas in 3rd and 4th grade. The principal attributes this growth to solid lesson planning and teacher-led PLCs. The summary indicates that the self-reported strengths of the CNA, which is the Certified Needs Assessment, include using formative and summative assessments to inform instruction, integrating technology, use of resources, and sharing and discussing data in a timely and effective manner. Suspension rates have taken a significant reduction as well. The school is implementing guided reading at all levels and making sure the grade level standards are being taught at the appropriate level. They will be using the data from the NWEA MAPS Universal Screener to ensure that the remediation time is as productive and specific to students as possible. Banks has a full-time curriculum specialist to support teaching and learning. Contigua Savannah K-8 school met growth and concluded with an overall proficiency score of 51.8%. The school performance grade is a C. You will notice on the slide that there was significant cohort growth in both reading and math as students moved through 3rd through 8th grade. The middle school remediation time is being supported with pre-constructed lessons provided in collaboration with the administration at E.B. Frank that all middle grades teachers must teach. CSS has a full-time math curriculum coach that serves all teachers K-8, resulting in, not at the very least, a 100% proficiency score in Math 1 for the past 2 years. The administration is dedicated to weekly walkthroughs and requiring lesson plans to be submitted for feedback and support. Weekly PLCs are required for teachers to attend with administration present. The school acknowledges the need for a full-time ESL teacher, and interviews are currently taking place. CSS has also experienced a decrease in out-of-school suspensions over the past 4 years and attributes that to a strong PBIS program, relationship building in classrooms, and the school's focus to provide mentors to students. E.B. Frank Middle School continued to meet growth for the 2nd year in a row, resulting in a significant increase in proficiency from 50.7% in 2018 to 57% proficiency in 2019. The school's overall performance grade increased to 61% from the previous year of 58%. Overall, math is a strength at Frank, where each grade exceeded growth in math last year. The Students with Disabilities subgroup met growth and so did the AIG subgroup, which is good to know because last year neither of these subgroups made growth. There has also been a significant decrease in out-of-school suspensions in all 3 grade levels. The school acknowledges it has multiple challenges, but believes that standards mastery for teachers is key to moving forward. In response, administration is conducting weekly standards dives in their data room. The weekly PLC has been expanded to include new structures that incorporate a rotating instructional cycle weekly. The focus on standards and knowing exactly what to teach and when, the school improvement team feels confident that the reading proficiency and growth will improve. Frank has 12 new teachers this year and is offering additional new teacher support sessions at the school level to complement the district's BT support program. The administration is constantly giving feedback, offering support, and ensuring teachers are not overwhelmed. Kinston High School's overall performance score increased by 4 percentage points from last year, ending at 53% for 2019. While the school's performance grade remains a D, the school made significant improvements in English 2 and biology as noted on the slide. The EVOS growth data shows that Kinston High School is closing the gap in student growth. Administration and counselors hand scheduled each student based on EVOS data, behavior, and student-teacher relationships. The 9th and 10th grade core classes have been set up with lowered class sizes to assist with foundational skill building and more time for one-on-one instructional support. The CTE offerings were expanded so more students could have completer courses, thus increasing the number of students eligible to take the Work Keys assessment needed for many entry-level jobs. With the use of Title I funds, Kinston High School added a math curriculum lead teacher to support math instruction and teacher development. Kinston High School is the home of the district's International Baccalaureate program. The school expanded the offerings in IB in order to promote and improve the program. For example, they're offering IB sports medicine and health science. After several adjustments to the IB schedule and offerings, participation in IB has jumped to 58 students from 35 last year. During their Monday homeroom, each student checks their grades, attendance, and tardies, and then records it in their student portfolio. This is also where students receive weekly announcements and reminders and participate in ACT overview and test prep practice. LaGrange Elementary School has exceeded growth for the past 4 years and maintained the school performance letter grade of C. LaGrange is able to celebrate very little teacher turnover. The focus subgroup for LaGrange is the ELS, English learning students population. While the ELS subgroup met growth, overall their growth index was lower than that of the other subgroups. The school plans for improvement include utilizing the MAP screener data to help structure the lesson plans and remediation groups. The school has a full-time curriculum specialist to provide standards-based support to teachers, ensuring that they are following and using all state curricula correctly. LaGrange Elementary emphasizes the need for a positive climate and culture, and the school improvement team believes that the school climate committee, PBIS team, and MTSS team all play a vital role in ensuring that LaGrange Elementary is a safe place for learning and excitement for staff and students. Lenoir County Learning Academy. LCLA benefits from a very low teacher-to-student ratio, allowing for intense individualized support to some of our most challenged students. The cohort graduation rate is showing a 3-year positive trend. DPI has conducted a detailed certified needs assessment outlining very specifically areas for growth and improvement, and those areas are included in the school's school improvement plan. The teachers participate in professional learning communities to work on standards mastery, targeted lesson plan creation. LCLA has added an ACT prep elective for students this year as well. There is a focus on vocabulary development in each course in hopes of increasing literacy skills and performance on standardized tests. The master schedule has also been crafted in a way to include what they call BARK time, a time for enrichment and remediation during 5th period. Lenoir County Early College High School maintained the school performance letter grade of A this past year. There was a significant increase of 14 points in student proficiency in English 2, resulting in 93.5% of the students proficient on the English 2 EOC. The early college has a very low teacher turnover rate. In an effort to boost ACT scores, 11th grade students are required to complete the ACT Prep online course and attend a weekly junior seminar class that include time practice tests and a mock ACT test. Teachers participate in PLC meetings where they plan for small group interventions by using all available and relevant data. There are 3 times a day that students are able to access tutoring from their teachers, before school, during lunch, and after school. We're very proud of our ACE school. Moss Hill Elementary increased their school performance grade to a B. There was an overall increase in proficiency in both reading and math. The Students with Disabilities subgroup has shown an increase in proficiency scores over the past 3 years. Moss Hill benefits from a very involved community and PTA. Their Harvest Festival has run for over 20 years and brings in hundreds of people and tens of thousands of dollars every year. And the Harvest Festival is this Friday. Moss Hill is implementing phonics instruction all the way through 3rd grade in math groups in all grade levels. The master schedule is designed to ensure uninterrupted core instructional time at all grade levels. The administration at Moss Hill leads a teacher learning in-service that will begin in November, allowing teachers to choose an area they would like to improve upon, and they are scheduled to go and observe a master teacher demonstrating this skill or strategy within the school. All teachers participate in PLCs to analyze data to determine next steps in personalized instruction for each student. North Lenoir High School increased their state performance grade to a C this year, resulting from gains in almost all areas. As the slide indicates, there were significant increases in biology, work keys, and Math 1. Discipline has been reduced quite a bit, and the school has been recognized as a model school through PBIS for the very first time. The master schedule was created to provide common planning for EOC teachers. To address the very low ACT scores, North Lenoir is implementing an ACT test prep program twice a week for all students during SOAR time. To improve English 2 scores, teachers will participate in professional development to help unpack the standards and in turn create grade level appropriate lesson plans. The administration is dedicated to weekly walkthroughs to provide feedback and support for all teachers. There has been a steady decline in math and reading growth in all grade levels for the past 3 years at Northeast Elementary. This year, there is a clear focus of instructional alignment and backwards planning. The administration has put systems and structures in place to build a safe and orderly school environment, and teachers attend PLCs that have been re-imaged with a purposeful focus on instructional alignment, unpacking of standards, and using data to drive decisions. In an effort to address the dire math scores, a math curriculum specialist is being hired. Teachers are participating in a math foundations cohort. Math PLC meetings are being conducted to unpack the standards. Walkthroughs with feedback are being provided, and model teaching lessons are in place. Northwest Elementary School met growth this year and had the 2nd highest growth in the county. Northwest has benefited from an increase in teacher retention. To address the decrease in student proficiency, the master schedule was created to provide for vertical planning during the day. The slide also indicates that there was a significant decrease in the number of 3rd, 4th grade transition students from 16 last year to just 4. Discipline was decreased, and the school has maintained its exemplary status in PBIS. PLCs meet twice a month, and the map screen will be used to personalize instruction for their students. Pink Hill Elementary School met growth, but the school performance letter grade changed to a C. Pink Hill met growth in all student subgroups, and only 2 students qualified for the 3rd through 4th grade transition class, meaning all other 3rd grade students at Pink Hill met a promotion benchmark. The master schedule allows for common planning for grade team PLCs, 30 minutes of remediation time for students, and 90 minutes of uninterrupted instruction time for math and reading. Pink Hill has a very low teacher turnover rate. Phonics will be taught K2, and all K3 teachers will implement balanced literacy and guided reading groups. Title I funds will provide for a curriculum specialist this year. PLCs will use the map screener to personalize instruction for students. Student enrollment is up at Rochelle Middle School. While Rochelle Middle School has maintained a school performance grade of F, they had increases in both growth and proficiency last year, but still not enough to meet expected growth. The Students with Disabilities subgroup met growth in math, reading, and science. The Black and economically disadvantaged subgroups exceeded growth in science. Every Tuesday and Thursday, teachers meet by department PLCs to conduct deep dives into weekly standards and use the MAP screener data to create meaningful lesson plans that are differentiated to meet each student's needs. Administration is committed to weekly classroom walkthroughs, weekly lesson plan feedback. Teachers will adhere to the school and district non-negotiables, and ECU beginning teacher support is in place to provide weekly support to beginning teachers at Rochelle and has offered to provide a weekly support session after school on Tuesdays for all beginning teachers. Southeast Elementary increased its school performance grade to a D this past year. There was an increase in EOG proficiency in all grades, all subjects, and all subgroups. Southeast Elementary has 2 curriculum specialists in math and reading to assist in lesson planning, co-teaching, strategic planning, and PD through certain PLCs. The administration has reinforced the non-negotiables with staff, and the school improvement plan includes the goals and recommendations set forth in the Certified Needs Assessment conducted by DPI. Phonics instruction will expand to 2nd grade, while guided reading and leveled literacy interventions will be implemented K-5, and the LLI interventions are daily intensive small group instruction. Southwood Elementary met growth expectations set by the state. They benefit from strong community support and an active PTA. Phonics instruction will expand to 2nd grade, while guided reading and LLI will be implemented K-5. The teachers will participate in guided PLCs on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday to provide for staff-wide professional learning and dialogue, but regular PLCs will meet each week. The school will hire a tutor through Title I funds for the spring semester to assist with learning gaps of subgroups. The administration is focused on cultivating a positive and professional environment. MAP screener data will be used to create meaningful lesson plans that are differentiated to meet each student's needs. We're almost there, guys. You're doing great. South Lenore High School maintained its school performance grade of B. The school has benefited tremendously from the steady decrease in out-of-school suspensions, with only 37 last year. The administration constantly monitors student needs, and the principal even refers to himself as counselor-in-chief. The master schedule has been created to provide for smaller class sizes in all EOC courses and year-long Math 1 courses. Student tutors assist in the Math 1 classes, providing another layer of support for struggling student subgroups. ACT scores were low, and in response, the school is offering short ACT practice test-taking sessions and review of academic sections of the test. The school has a continued focus on student attendance and providing differentiated support for all students. Woodington Middle School has maintained a school performance grade of C. The school did not meet growth as defined by the state, but is working to analyze MAPS data during PLCs to determine what the specific instructional needs are of each student and plan lessons accordingly. Reading was the lowest proficiency through the entire school in all subgroups but one, and that was AIG. The school is working to address vocabulary and literacy needs throughout all content areas to attack the deficits in reading. The aim time is a remediation period organized so students will have their core teachers. The directed studies teachers will be assigned to different grade levels to assist in small group instruction. The administration is dedicated to providing instructional feedback through walkthroughs and weekly lesson plan reflections. That is the conclusion of the review of all of our executive summaries that have been uploaded for you to study over the next month. Do you have any questions? I'm also available by phone and email.
I appreciate these summaries. Very helpful. Any questions? All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Herring. Our next item under presentation will be our teasers, employee census data attestation.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. The State Office of the State Auditor is required annually to prepare the audit for the retirement system. And to that end, a random selection of LEAs and state agencies are selected for these attestation services. The purpose of the report is solely to assist the North Carolina Office of State Auditor and the North Carolina Department of State Treasurer in determining whether the census data being provided via Orbit is materially correct. And Orbit being the online reporting system that we report all salary and wages of eligible employees. The results of the services are in the audit report that's provided in the agenda. The third paragraph of that report states, in our opinion, the employee census data for the year ended December 31st, 2018, referred to above, is presented complete and accurate based on the criteria set by the Retirement Systems Handbook, revised January 2018 in all material respects. We were very pleased with the results of this work, and we thought it important to share it with you this evening. As you have a chance to review, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Real talk.
All right, no questions? Thank you, Mr. Adams. Our next item will be our North Carolina School Board Association policy revisions. Superintendent Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The North Carolina School Boards Association has submitted policy revisions through their policies to lead the school subscription in response to recent legislative action. The policies are submitted tonight for board study with action to be taken at a subsequent meeting.
All right, no questions? Thank you, Mr. Williams. And we'll go back to Mr. Adams for our final presentation item, our financial report.
Yes, sir. The September 2019 financial report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all North County Board of Education fund sources as of September 30th, 2019. Additionally, the report presents the unadjusted local current expense fund balance as of the same date. I will be happy to answer any questions as you have an opportunity to review the report.
Any questions for Mr. Adams? If not, we'll move on to our action item, or action portion of our agenda. We'll stay with Mr. Adams for our 2019-2020 budget resolution.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Although the state has not finalized their budget resolution, DPI has provided us with state initial allotments for the state public school fund, and we feel confident moving forward with our budget resolution that will require amendments as the budget is finalized. However, this evening, the budget that's before you is prepared using those initial allotments for the state public school fund. Local current expense fund reflects current county appropriation and estimated fines and forfeitures and miscellaneous revenues. Federal grants funds are based on the planning allotment and actual carryover amounts. Capital outlay fund reflects current lottery funds and half-cent sales tax revenue. The school food service fund is prepared with anticipated revenues, and trust fund budget is prepared using actual amounts as of July 1, 2019. The other local current expense is prepared using anticipated revenue and actual carryover amounts. You will see the budget resolution and supporting documentation provided. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions or discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the budget resolution as presented.
Move to approve the budget resolution, 2019-2020.
Motion by Mr. Smith. Second by Mr. Hill. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you.
Our next item will be our surplus items. Mr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The attached items are submitted for your approval to be deemed surplus. Any proceeds derived from the sale should be returned to the appropriate department. Tonight you have Lenore County Early College High School textbook surplus.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the inventory items as surplus and sale with the proceeds returned to the appropriate department.
I have a motion by Mr. Hill,
Second.
second by Mr. Davis. No questions or further discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. And our last action item will be our out-of-state school field trip. Mrs. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two out-of-state field trips tonight seeking your approval. The first is from Frank Middle School. It's for 7th and 8th graders to go to Washington, D.C., March 5th through the 7th. It's approximately 50 students will be going, and they are taking a charter bus off the approved charter bus list. And the second trip is LaGrange Elementary School on December the 12th. They'd like to take the 5th grade to Myrtle Beach to see Ripley's Aquarium and attend the Pirates Voyage show. They will also be chartering a bus off the approved charter bus list.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve the out-of-state field trip.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Davis. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I move that the Lenore County Board of Education goes into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files, to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, and to consider matters relating to initial employment of an individual employee.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Hill and a second by Mr. Smith. All in favor, please raise your right hand. We are now in closed session. Thank you, gentlemen. Open session.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to recuse myself from the personnel report. My wife and daughter are listed on the personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Move to approve the personnel report.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith to approve the personnel report. There goes second, Mr. Bogan. There's no discussion on that item. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the addendum to the personnel report as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Hill to approve the addendum as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor of approving the addendum, please raise your right hand. Thank you, gentlemen. Now we will entertain a motion to adjourn. A motion to adjourn by Mr. Anderson. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Woods. I thought we were going to stay a little while. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. We are adjourned. Thank you.